We're live from North Carolina and Florida at the same time.
Woot woot.
And you are in the future
I
because I'm an
know, and I
hour
always
behind
forget
you.
that. I always forget it. I never clarify Eastern time, but I'm glad you do.
How's the future?
Hot.
Oh, it's hot here too. It's like 80.
It's hotter here. It's like 89 right now. Isn't that crazy? It's
Oh,
like a
for
record.
real?
Yeah. I actually was gonna do this outside and I was setting up and I was like, mm-mm. Oh, sorry, it's 82 right now, but the high is gonna be 85.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Start
So
sweating.
I had my tiny little yard in the background trying to make it look good. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just go back to my cave. Well, I'm glad we're doing this because I wanted to get you on here because you're as obsessed with growth as I am. So we've got some topics in mind.
Muscle growth and mind growth.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of the same themes are popping up like on our coaching calls and we see it day to day like with the people around us. So we came up with three themes we're going to touch on. The first being growth equaling happiness. I could rap about this all day, but if you want to take the floor first, go for it.
Yeah. Um, well, I'm even seeing this in my life right now, right? So I went through a job transition, kind of a like mini career transition, right? I was 10 years in the same thing and got out, and now I'm still a strength coach, right? Because I was a college strength coach for 10 years. I'm still a strength coach, but now I'm with the military. Um, so I needed a change of pace. Like I knew I needed a change of pace, right? Like I was not doing well, like physically or mentally. Um, but now I'm here and in this job. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this job. I love the demographic I work with.
Can you
But
drop who you work with? Because it's really cool.
I work with the United States Air Force. So I work on a base with them in Pensacola, and I work in a weight room. They come and I make them more resilient, build their gas tank. We have guys and girls that are getting ready to go be in F-15s. So those are fighter jets for people who don't know what an F-15 is. And they rip a lot of G's, right? So like kind of think about being on a roller coaster. Like there you're when you're going around and around really, really fast, like that's actual like G force, right? So being on a roller coaster, but at a totally higher level. So they have to go in this thing called a centrifuge, which brings you up and down and brings you through this whole profile, and you have to pass the centrifuge in order to be in the F-15. So that's kind of like the coolest aspect of my job is training these guys and girls to like get ready for the centrifuge, like prep them for it.
Hmm.
So I can get really nerdy and like go into it, but I can use, I've pulled from so many different parts of the past 10 years, so many different like training philosophies. Like I'm pretty free to build any type of program that I see fit for them, right? That's going to make them more resilient. And the biggest thing is keeping them available, right? We're going to keep them available, especially now because we are at war. So keeping them available and ready to go when their number is called is really, really important. And just longevity in general, because the military is pretty notorious for, a lot of overuse injuries, not really taking care of their bodies, not taking care of, the things that are important that we talk about being fitness professionals, being bodybuilders, right? Our physical health, our mental health, sleep, recovery, hydration, like all those things are just as important to these people in the military. So that's kind of what I do.
Hmm.
But back to the growth and happiness, right? So got my new job, like super excited about it. So I've just experienced like a full pendulum swing. So the pendulum was like all the way over here, and I'm like working, 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 working. Like I'm mentally beat up. I'm physically feeling the effects of stress, which I've never felt in my life before. Like I didn't know that stress could make you feel the way that I was feeling. And I was checking all my boxes too. I was hydrating, I was sleeping, I was eating every single meal. Like I don't miss a meal, I don't miss a workout. I sleep like, you
Hmm.
know, I was doing my things. So I didn't know that stress could do that. So I was over here, and then the pendulum literally swung to the opposite side here, where like this job is super chill, super easy. And I love it. I love the demographic I work with, like great people. I work right on the water, so it's like really relaxing, actually, the atmosphere. But I'm starting to get restless. Like I can feel myself like I need something, I need something. So like that part of my brain that's like I need to be challenged, I need to be pushed, I need something here to go. Like I'm used to going. And
Yeah.
and so that's where I'm sitting right now. So it's kind of like I need to find things to, keep that part of my brain satisfied, or I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully
Right.
nothing happens. But like, yeah,
Yeah. And I've totally been there too, where like that pendulum effect you're talking about, where you're all into something and you're constantly go, go, go. And my body and my mind like craved a break. And I think people can get stuck in one or the other, where they never give themselves a break and they never just take a step back and like reassess and build. Because like you can't build from an overwhelmed brain. So it's like if you're flooded constantly, I don't think you can create new things, or like you're not intentional about the direction you want to go. But then you take that pause and it's like, hold up, this is what I want. I've got clarity now. Like, let's go. Because I was
right.
there with bodybuilding where I got really burned out, and with coaching where I was just busy all the time. And I think creating my business from myself, it overwhelmed me. And then I was like, I just want to chill. Like, I don't want to do anything. And this like pendulum effect happened where all of a sudden I realized I was really burned out and I just wanted to be. I got really into yoga and I just wanted to like kumbaya. But all of a sudden, like that same thing happened where that fire started burning inside me. And I'm like, it's go time again. Like, and then we found Project Lean Nation, which we're about to open. But I feel like I needed that time to just kind of chill and say like, what direction do I want to go? But I definitely
Yeah.
wasn't my happiest there.
You have to give your time, like, you have to give yourself like time to reset and like realign almost. And I
Yeah.
think I was listening to, I listen to podcasts every morning. I love my morning podcast time when I'm getting ready. And I listened to two with actually Brian Johnson, who's who he is, the longevity
Yes.
guy, the don't
He's
die
gonna live
guy.
forever.
Yeah. So he's really smart. Like he has some really like valid points. So he was talking about like circadian rhythms kind of, and how you get all this plaque build up in your brain over the day, and every night, like if you get into a routine, you should stay in that routine, right? So I go to bed, I make sure that I'm in bed usually by like 9 p.m. every single night. And usually I am asleep by 9:30 at the latest, so I can get legitimately 8 hours. Like I wake up at
Hmm.
5:30. But your body is so smart. It sends these like cleaners. They like they take the trash out basically, and it cleanses your brain. But he was also saying like stress also causes those cleaners to like not come. So like eventually, like that stress buildup, like everything's all clogged up. You think clear, like you're not as creative and things like that. And I can definitely see that, like reflecting back, I was
Hmm.
like kind of just like going through the motions, kind of like a zombie almost, which is like
Yes.
really, really, really weird. But because I didn't get that like break and that reset to just kind of chill out for a little bit. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get really stuck there just in the way their lives are structured. They never give themselves that time to recover. And we've seen this because we've talked about it before. I think people get this idea where they want to eventually just get to a place where they're not stressed anymore. It's like they crave that so bad, not realizing that they can give themselves that break now intentionally and then create a future that they want. But we were just talking about this before we got on the call. Like people will get stuck in wanting to arrive, like not wanting to grow anymore because they're so burned out from go, go, go. And it kind of misses the mark. Like growth equals happiness. Like when we're growing
Yeah.
more into like a higher version of ourselves, that is ultimately happiness. But I
Yep,
think
for
people get
sure.
stuck.
For sure. And I found like in those times where I was super slammed and stressed and busy, like you know this because I've talked about this before on our calls. Like I have like my like I forget what I even called them, like my five, like they're basically like five things that ground me, right? Like I need to do these five things every single day to be optimal, like to be at my best. And one of them is like do my morning routine. Like, so I usually like listen to a podcast. And that morning routine changes around. Like, I was at a point where I was taking a like 5 minute cold shower every morning. I was
Yeah.
practicing posing every morning. I was going on a morning walk. Like my routine, like morning routine, when I was like really in the thick of like, and I guess it was like the beginning of my journey. It was very structured and like I had a lot of things in the morning routine, but now it's kind of like, okay, I wake up, do my podcast, make my bed. Make my bed is always like at the top of the list and do and listen to my podcast. Like those are the first two things that I do every single morning. But and like those I found like in those times of stress where I'm not being intentional about growing in these different areas, these areas that ground me, like I'm not at my best, I'm not growing, I'm not my happiest, right? So it's like do your morning routine, do some movement every single day. um what else was on my list? I can't even
Yeah,
remember
you
what I
had the
called it.
non-negotiables is what you
Yeah,
called them, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, and it was just like doing these things, even reading my book, always reading my book, right? That's another thing. And so that's all like growth stuff, right? Like I'm not reading like 50 Shades of Grey. Like I'm reading like
Don't be
personal
hating.
I'm reading. Well, if you read for pleasure, that's fine. If that's what, like, you read for pleasure, that's fine. But I'm reading for like growth and for my
Right.
mind, right? So I'm growing and I'm checking all these boxes of things that like keep me moving forward, right? Keep me at my best. I think about like sharpening an axe. Like I'm sharpening the blade of my axe every single day
Yeah.
because it gets dull over the course of the day, right? Because I use my axe. Like I go to work, right? I go to
Yeah.
work, my axe gets dull. Okay, let me resharpen this thing so I can go to work again tomorrow. So those non-negotiables are like super, super important to me. Like I guess it's more of like a micro dose, right?
Hmm.
Every single day to keep me sharp and keep me trending in the right direction.
Yeah, and it gets you in charge of the day from the moment you wake up. Like instead of being at the mercy of what happens around you, you're in charge of your state, like from the moment you wake up. That's why I love the Tony Robbins activity we're doing this week. It's I don't know if those of y'all watching, if you've ever tried Tony Robbins priming exercises, and there's all kinds of different variations to this, but I just like that it spends about 15 minutes to quickly get you grounded to where your state is at such a high elevation that there's no way you're going to go through your day the same as you would without it. Like the decisions you make and what you're looking for in your day is so different. And we talk about it on our calls all the time, choosing people, places, and things. Like, what is that highest version of you going to be doing with her time? Who's she going to be hanging out with? How's she going to spend her time? And unless you get ahead of that, you're just at the mercy of what happens in your day. It's like you're a victim of
Yeah.
circumstances.
Well, you're playing defense instead of playing offense is the way
Ooh,
that I
yeah.
look at it, right? You're like you're going into the day as okay, life's going to throw some stuff at me today. Let me ward it off, right? Versus being on offense and it's like, "Oh, what life's going to lob up this ball to me and I'm just going to smash it." Like, yeah, let's do it. So I've been doing it. I will admit I missed the past two mornings, but I've been
Oh,
doing it.
snap. But yeah, you
I
still do your
I
stuff.
haven't missed my uh high frequency song though. So, N equals one study still happening here. I've been 3 weeks strong on it. So we'll see. But I actually do that. I've been putting it in after I get back from training.
Tell them
So
what you're talking about.
the priming.
No, no, the high frequency.
Oh, I don't know. This might be internet hearsay. I might be a victim of of the algorithm, but um supposedly Anita Ward's Ring My Bell is at a very, very high vibrational frequency. So if you are a little bit woo-woo, like the two of us, and believe, in high vibrations and high frequencies and when you're clicking on all cylinders, you're really vibrating at a high frequency, then this song supposedly vibrates at that frequency and it's supposed to help you, stay at that frequency. So I've been doing it for like 3 weeks. So, and supposedly, like I said, might be victim to internet here, but supposedly, like they won't even play it in like a casino because people will get on like hot streaks and stuff.
It's so funny. Have you noticed that now when I put you on my story, like your progress pics, I always put ring my bell?
Yeah, I saw the one you posted yesterday. But I've been doing that priming after I get back from my training. So
Yeah.
I'll get back from training, like take a shower, do the priming, and then eat and go to work. So it's right before I go to work. Because
Yeah.
usually when I'm training, like I don't want to do that right before I train because I don't really need that. But I don't need to do that before I train. Like that's
I
just
do the
me.
same thing though. I
And
do it.
sometimes I don't need to vibrate at a high frequency when I'm training.
Right. You got to conjure those demons
Yeah,
sometimes.
you gotta go to the pain cave. You take some trips to the pain cave, man.
Right. Yeah, I do the same thing. I use the priming right before I answer check-ins or right before I check like emails and stuff. And it's amazing how the content people send me or the things people say, I respond so differently. Like after doing the priming, it's like I'm not on the defense. I'm not instantly triggered if someone starts complaining. It just totally shifts. And something you said earlier about not being on the defense all the time, not feeling like you're dodging everything. The priming exercises or getting a hold of your day from the beginning and having that growth mindset, it makes resistance almost exciting because then it's like you don't view resistance in your day as this bad, daunting thing. It's like, oh snap, this is showing up to push me to my next level. Like, this is my opportunity to rise above. And it's just like in the gym, we talk about we want resistance. We're like chasing resistance. The more resistance, the better. But then there's this tendency for people when they have it in their lives to just crumble or just to think like this is bad. Here it is again. I'm not going to get past this. So I know you and I both preach a lot that that resistance is key to keep leveling up.
Yeah, and like one thing that I've learned, this is not my original idea by any means, but like view those days as like test days, right? Like life is going to test you, right? And you know, I have X, Y, and Z planned for my day, but here comes a curveball, right? And then it's all in the perspective. It's all in the perspective, right? Offense versus defense. So, you could say, okay, guess what? Here's my curveball for the day. This is going to be a test day today. This is going to be a test day, and I'm going to dominate my test day. And you know, I can do hard things, right? Like it's so cliche to say I can do hard things, but I don't think people, I don't think people say that enough anymore. Like
Yeah.
the mindset of like, give me the hard and choosing the hard, like doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know if it's just because we live in a convenience culture. Like I can literally open my phone, order food, and it'll be sitting at my door in like 15 minutes versus
Right.
me taking out my chicken, like going to the store, getting the chicken, cleaning the chicken, cooking it properly, right? Like, and doing the work to actually get my food, right? People could view that as a major like inconvenience because it's like, oh, I have so much to do. I don't have time to like prep my food or whatever. Let me just order it. you know, but yeah, like
Yeah. It's
I, and I know like when I was a lot busier, right? Right now, like my life is pretty easy. Like I'm not getting a whole lot of like resistance showing up. Um, but before in my job for, when did I start doing my stuff? The end of 2020.
Mhm.
Um, right? I would have days that were, for literally 14-hour days. Literally 14-hour days. I would have days where I would be on a bus traveling for most of the day, and I was still drinking all my water, eating all my meals. Like I had to plan far, far in advance. Like I was gone for 4 and 5 days at a time and still checking my boxes, right? And that I just view that as like that's a test. So
yeah,
now when life is very easy, it's like there's no excuse for me to miss a meal. There's no excuse for me to not hydrate. There's no excuse. Like and
right.
now it's just kind of like baked into me. Like this is just what
Mhm.
I do now, right? So it's that's why I'm saying like life is kind of easy because I've already done all those hard things. I've gone through the hard times of, trying to make myself better, but I was also like super, super busy. So it was pushing me like to really nail down and be like, okay, I have to wake up at 4:30 in order to get out the door at 5:15 and go on a 45-minute walk, and then I'll be done at 6, and then I can get to work by I can eat, shower, get to work by 7:30 because I have a team at 8. So I mean it forced me like, and then I had a game. If I have a game that night, I have to pack all my meals. I'm eating 6 times a day. Like ever since I've been with you, I don't think I've eaten any less than 5 times a day, and I think I've been at 6 pretty much the whole
Right.
time. I don't think I want to say I've been at 6, but I could be wrong. But it's like, I have a game tonight. Okay, I have to eat every single meal but one at work. So I have to do that the night before, prepare all that. So now it's like,
A
okay,
breeze.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
super
It's like
easy.
Yeah, it's like anyone can hit goals when everything's optimal. But it's so funny because when clients send me a message and they kind of have that panic going on where they're like, I'm going to be on a vacation. Like, what do I do? It's like they're scrambling. I'm like, my first instinct is good. This is great. Like, this gives us an opportunity to practice continuing to make growth when conditions aren't optimal because they rarely are. Like, it is so rare for most people to just have a day that goes exactly how they planned. And it builds
Yeah,
that self-efficacy. It's like when you go through something hard and you stick to what you know you set out to do, then when another hard time comes, you remember, oh yeah, I've done this before. And I think about it big picture too. Like I think about the time when I was, a single mom. I know you know this story, but maybe not everyone who's watching does. Being a single mom, being newly sober, tried to like rebuild my life and just the chaos that was happening, but being able to stick to what I set out every morning, continuing to grow when nothing was easy. Like I didn't have a license, like everything was hard at that time. So now when I have a day where I'm like, this feels chaotic, this is a lot, I'm like, hold up. I got this. So, and I think you saw, I came across this post and it talked about, spiritual growth doesn't happen when you're meditating on a yoga mat. Like it happens when the hard shit shows up and you have that pause where you can say, "Oh yeah, I've done this before. I want to do it different now." That's
yeah. It happens when you're literally in the fire, when you are
yes.
thrown into the fire. And I think about this every single day. Maybe this is a little plug for people who might need like a kick in the butt. Um, but I am so, so lucky. I had such an advantage um of doing 75 hard. Like making the decision to do 75 hard on my own and then proceed to do the live hard program for those two. I did live hard for 2 straight years. Like, and it sounds insane, but like it put me at such an advantage in life because I also started it right in the beginning. It was COVID times. Number one, it was COVID time. It was 2020, November 7th, 2020 was when I started. It was COVID times. It was the beginning of basketball season in my first year with basketball. So I didn't even know, like, I didn't even have a grip on the travel schedule, and everything was different because of COVID, anyways. So it wasn't like a normal travel, like, it was very abnormal to begin with. So, but like looking back on it now, and it has set me up like mostly the mindset portion of it. It has set me up for life because
Yeah.
I did it, right? I lived through that. And that's why I'm saying like now, like all this stuff is just a part of who I am. Like there may be times where, you know, I do like stray from the path and I stop doing my like non-negotiables. Like I stop reading my book, and then I'm like, man, why am I not feeling so great? Like my brain, like I don't know what it is. Something's weird here. And it's like, oh, you stopped reading your book and you haven't been doing your 10 minutes of visualization, and you know, you're not listening to podcasts that are like helping you learn. You're just listening to podcasts that are entertaining, right?
Mhm.
Which you can do, like there's a balance, right? You can listen to stuff that's
Sure.
entertaining, but yeah. So like I'm like just so grateful that I was able to do that program. And then I rolled straight into bodybuilding, and it was like it was a breeze. Like the things
Yeah.
that you were asking me to do, I was just like, yeah, like okay.
Yeah, it's just who you were at that point. I see that advantage too in people that have done 75 hard, truly done it. And I know you said that you did what the live, what is it called?
Live hard. Yeah.
Live
So
hard
live
for
hard
2 years.
is yeah, so it's three other phases. So 75 hard is like I kind of call it like phase zero, but then you have three other 30-day phases that lead up to the year completion. So
Okay. Yeah, the people that have done that, it's like a different breed. If people want to sign up for coaching and they've done that, I already know they don't have to, I don't need to work on trying to rewire the way they're thinking. They're there and you just give them a plan and they can follow it. So it's so different versus someone who is coming, who has no structure, has never done anything like that. And they still have kind of those like self-doubts and dysfunctional beliefs going on. So
yeah.
I can see a difference
And
for
that's kind
sure.
of where I like learned to spin like the resistance, right? That's where I kind of learned to spin the resistance into like viewing it as this is a test day. Like no matter what happens to me today, these are the things that I need to accomplish, right? Because those of you who aren't familiar with 75 hard, you have to do like five or six different tasks every single day for 75 days straight. If you miss one, you go back to the beginning.
Hmm.
So you could be on day 50 and get sick, right? Like you could get, the flu or whatever. If you're real hardcore, if you're real hardcore, you keep doing your things. Like you find a way to get it done. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
point, is finding a way to get it done and building up like your mental fortitude, right? Because like life ebbs and flows, right? You're like we just talked about this before, like the pendulum swing, right? Like I was in a really chaotic time in my life, and since we're almost coming up to a year, um, about a year ago, like I kind of went down and swung the pendulum the other way, and I've been kind of like resetting and refocusing and recalibrating, right?
Yeah.
So, but when it starts going back up and getting chaotic and stressful and crazy again, which I know that it will, because that's just the nature of life, like it's an ebb and a flow. Um, like I'm ready, right? My mental
Yeah.
fortitude is there. I'm still doing the things that keep that axe sharpened every single day. But yeah, that's where I learned like embrace the resistance, because you have to be able to function when circumstances aren't optimal. Like you have to be able to go when it's time to go, no matter what life throws at you.
Yeah. And that's where that shift happens, where it's not just what you're doing anymore, it's who you become. Like, no matter what's happening around you, this is you now. This is what you do. And when we start habits, and I know we preach this a lot to clients, like it's going to feel hard in the beginning. Like building new habits is hard, but if you do that long enough, that's your default. And then before you know it, you don't even recognize that person from 2 years ago. That's why I know you and I have sort of a similar background. I know that you didn't go quite as heavy in certain areas as I did, but we like to party back in the day. Like, we didn't when we didn't have that direction and we didn't have that growth mindset. I mean, like we weren't happy. We thought we were. Sorry, I don't mean to speak for you, but like I wasn't happy. Like I was constantly trying to just kind of like numb and ignore the fact that I really wasn't happy with who I was. And then finding like 75 hard, or for me, like finding bodybuilding, it's like it gave us that all of a sudden bridge to where we could start to build like who we truly are and to build our
Yeah.
highest selves.
Yeah. And it reveals like, so I've always been like a competitive athlete, right? Like I've been doing sports since I was like 5 years old. So I'm a very competitive person by nature. I played softball in college, so I literally have been involved in sports my whole entire life. And after I left softball, it was kind of like, okay, what do I do now? Like
Mhm.
it's like it kind of sucked. And so then, I was doing my internship in the weight room and, trying to become a strength coach. Like that was the job or whatever. I started doing powerlifting. So, like, I look back now, I mean, that was when I was, what, 23? I'm 38 now. So I look back and it's always like, yeah, like you've always, like the things that I know about myself, right? I need to move my body every single day or I will become a not fun person to be around. Like it will not be good. It's not
Mhm.
good. So I need to move my body every single day in some way, shape, or form. And then I'm a very competitive person. So I think that ties into like challenges in life in general. Like I need something that is going to challenge me. Like I know that about
Yeah.
myself. And like that's where like bodybuilding falls, right? So that's my hobby, right? So, but in my job, I also need things that challenge me as well. And that's like, I guess that's the part of my brain that needs to be like stimulated is the hard part. I need hard
Yeah.
stuff.
Right. Yeah. And truly, I think everyone does. I think a lot of people have just told themselves the story that they don't. Kind of like we were talking about, there's this idea that once I get here, I'll just be at peace, I'll be happy, I can chill. And it's just not truly the happy spot. Like the happy spot is when we feel proud, when we have self-confidence. And this happened to me just recently, like with taking on Project Lean Nation. I realized that I've got to get comfortable with being busier. Like I've just got to get comfortable with doing more in a day, not to like glorify overwhelm, but it's not that I need to like put some of that responsibility off. It's that I've got to recalibrate to like be proud of myself and do what I want to do. Like it's next level stuff. But I just thought about that. I'm like, it's got to become who I am, not just something I do. I can't wake up every morning and have this like big to-do list and just every day say, I've got all this stuff to do. I've got all this stuff to do. It's like, this is going to be who I am, like successful. This is who I am. So I love this. If someone doesn't get a little value out of something we said, I'll be shocked. So I do want to say for those of y'all watching, please drop in the comments anything that resonated with you, or questions you have, because I do check these and respond. Is there anything else that you don't feel like you got to? I think we hit our topics. Anything else
Yeah, I don't really
lingering?
remember our topics. I just
I,
skimmed over them. I was like, okay, I'm ready.
I had him in the back of my mind. We stayed on track. Great. I'm very proud of us. But yeah,
No,
I wanted to talk to you about this because it's not just something you do, it is who you are. And I'm really grateful for you and just being a part of like the coaching team because it's, you want people that live the life and walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And that's truly you. So I'm really glad that you came on and talked about this.
yeah, I'm always down to have a conversation.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, y'all, thank you again, Kelly. And if y'all got value from this, you know what I'm going to say. Like and subscribe. That way you get notified when new videos come out. Maybe you want Kelly to come back on, talk again. We'll take up as much of her time as we need to. So just leave a comment below. And until next time, stay powerful.